Hello and welcome. Today we have a 2000 Mercedes CLK 320. We'll do a review on this car today. We'll test drive. We'll show you what it's all about. Got this car like 2 days ago. And as usual for me, 320. Anyway, we'll start with the interior, go on the exterior. I'll show you the engine, show you the trunk, show you how it drives, and then maybe I'll buy one of these. Or I don't, and let them be cheaper for me. Either way works. But anyway, let's start in the interior. So this is a 2000, so it's a facelift, pre-99, I think. Late 99 was the pre-facelift. Yeah, I know my door squeaks a little bit. So here's the interior. Let's do, yeah, there we go, we'll zoom out. Here's your key. The older one's a switchblade key. I've had a couple 210s that were prior generations. Start up. I know my power steering's a little bad too, but you know, I never know how long I keep a car, so let's turn down the AC a little bit. So anyway, over here you have, actually let's turn this off so I don't get copyrighted by Depeche Mode. Anyway, so right here you have your headlight controls, parking brake is right here. There are your steering wheel controls for the screen that's right there. Mine doesn't work. No, I have. Well, it does, but it's like super dim. You couldn't see it on camera. Right here, you have your radio, so like up and down for volume. And right here is your phone controls. And obviously, I have a horn. Here are your seat controls, forward, backward, 3 memory settings on both sides, which is pretty nice, as well as headrest controls. Speaker as well, right there and right there. A little bit of storage right here. You have your window controls. This one, unlike the gen after this, the 209 CLK, is not pillarless, so these rear windows, they do not roll down, they're just fixed. ESP control off, that's your traction control in these cars, wet and sport. Here's your rear sunshade, of course mine is broken. Here's your trunk and your mirror controls. Right here is your ashtray and cigarette lighter. This is a storage compartment. I have almost CLK GTR in there. Climate control, radio. Your cassette, I think if I remember correctly, is, oh wait, no, I just messed that up. There we go, yeah. And then telephone, radio. CD, I'm still figuring this thing out. I think to do CD and then like, let's just say a different CD, you do that and then that, and yeah, that just worked. Okay, so to change it, otherwise you do something like, no, that also does it. Then you press CD again, and then change the track. Yeah, that's how it does it. So right here you have your headrest droppers. Mine are already down, so don't do anything. It's your tow mode and to unlock and lock the doors. But that didn't work either. So right there you have your glove box. AC controls are right here. Cruise control right here. Turn signals and wipers. Here's the mono wiper. Up here you have your lighting controls as well as your sunroof. But I've never, and probably will never use the sunroof. What I love about the CLK compared to an E-Class is this wood trim piece right here. It looks really good. And even though it's been Texas and 101 degrees outside, it does not crack. But it does look slightly different, probably just because of aging from the door wood and the wood right here. You can kind of see it's a little bit of fade right there. Anyway, we'll hop onto the back seats. Oh, I forgot to mention, you have storage right there, and might have the phone, not anymore, but the phone would go right there. And you have a business card holder right here. Right here's where your cup holders would go, but I don't have cup holders anymore, they broke. So it's just a massive cup holder now for American cups. So let's hop in the back seat and we'll show you that. You also have another speaker right there, I just didn't even notice till now. So unlike most coupes, the seatbelt does not go in here, but this is automatic, which is very nice. And we'll hop in the back seat. I don't know, like 6'2" or something, and I do actually fit fairly comfortably back here. Like, it's not horrible, and this is my driving position where it's at right now, and I still have room. Not the most, but I still have room. Right here you have a ashtray, and then you have your center console right here for the rear seats, and 2 cup holders, which is better than most Mercedes of this era, and Jaguars for that matter. Also some grab handles right here. No real storage back here, but you do have this nice first aid kit where I guess you could hide your pills or, you know, something. Anyway, let's move on to the exterior. I'm going to save a little gas here by turning, no, we'll leave it on. Not that low just yet. So right here you have your tail lights, obviously very 210 inspired exhausts down there. This is, I believe this is an AMG trim package car, not like the AMG engine, just with the cosmetic kits. And I know that grill is hideous, but it is what it is. So, right here is your 3.2 liter V6. It has 215 horsepower, and I believe it is, I'm taking out that grill, trust me, like I'm getting rid of that one. I think it looks hideous in this car. It fits in the later ones, but not on this one. They're at 215 horsepower and about 230 pound-feet of torque. Your antenna is up there on the convertibles, it's on the trunk. Your trunk release for the outside is right here. You have your 6 CD change right here. Your folding receipts are right here on both sides, and then underneath here you have a spare tire. And also with Mercedes you can do that as well. Also jacks in it there. But of course it is a donut, so I don't like that much as Jaguar, which puts the full size one in until recently. And my trunk is a little, the latch is a little stuck, so I was gonna slam it. Anyway, let's take this thing for a drive. I believe it's a 5-speed. I've owned literally 4 E-classes and a CLK, but I've never had a, no, 4 E-classes and this CLK, yeah, that sounds about right. And I don't know what transmission's in this one. I'm gonna say it's probably a 5-speed though. And yes, I know these do look a little dated compared to the later models, which still look pretty new, but you know, the price on these are a lot more approachable. I bought this one for $2,600, and I think I didn't get the best deal on it, to be honest. If I'd gotten around $2,400, I would have been much more satisfied, but $2,600 isn't too bad. Especially when it only needs maybe $500 in work to be perfect, which is like, means new power steering, needs an alignment, needs 2 bushings, and a new sunroof liner, but I can live without that. So let's give this thing a little bit of gas, not full throttle, that's about maybe 10%. And these don't handle the best. I mean, it's a pretty large car. It's based off of the W202 C-Class platform, I believe. And so they don't handle the best, but they handle better than, let's just say, an E-Class or a CL of this era, which those handle pretty decently, so it's not too bad. I would say it's comparable to probably a BMW 6 Series, maybe a little worse than a 6 Series, but right around there, maybe an XJ. I haven't driven my XJ in years, so I kind of forget. And yeah, so also forgot to mention, yeah, you can see there's your outside temperature gauge, and there's your clock, and the D is, of course, drive. But yeah, this is 2000, this is the facelift, the first year of it. In 2003, they had another, that was when the 2nd gen came out, and it is like a whole different world. You can get a touch screen in there, not touch screen, but it's a pretty advanced screen for 2004, 2003. But it looks 5 years newer than this car, to be honest. Even though this is a early facelift, the facelift was only around for 2 years. The pre-facelift was around for, I believe, 4 or 5. I think it came out in '96. So yeah, around 4 years. But yeah, so I would recommend this car. Find one that's been well taken care of. This is like middle ground for CLK, honestly, which is it's on the better end of bad. And I say that because a lot of these cars are owned by like retired people, so a lot of them are in really nice condition. I see them all the time with 50, 60,000 miles, and this one has 160, 170, and it's doing just fine. And I had a 210 prior with the same engine and transmission setup, although it did have 1 rebuild on the transmission with 235,000 miles, and I tried to buy it back last week, and it had 250,000 miles. But he wanted too much for it, so I went with, I think, honestly, a better looking car. And honestly, the rear seats, as much as I will say they're small, E-Class seats aren't even that much bigger. They're about the same size. Maybe you might get another inch out of them, but with this you get a better looking car. You get a little bit of a faster car because it does weigh slightly less, maybe 100, 200 pounds less. And you're going to get a more rare car. There aren't many CLK coupes, especially. I only see convertibles really this generation. And so you're going to get a rare car. And everyone knows that I've seen so many 210s. There are a lot less than there used to be, but the CLK is just a different car. I would compare them to maybe, let's just say, a Ford Fusion with an EcoBoost and a Ford Mustang with an EcoBoost. You know, it's relatively the same car, but you know, it is different. And I will admit, some of the switchgear, the truck has a very low tire. I will admit some of the switchgear is cheaper than E-Class. Mainly, I just thought about about 10 minutes ago, but the E-Class has a cover of mercury over this panel, and this one doesn't. But the E-Class, the inside of that panel, or on the E-Class it's rubber, this is plastic. The plastic aged a lot better. The rubber on the E-Class is always disintegrating. I've had 3 of the 210s, and I had one 211s, and a bunch of sticky stuff in the 211 as well. And this one is just fine. Also, the glove box is off C-Class, I believe. And as most C-Classes air are, is broken. So if I open it up, it'll fall down and stay down until I take 20 minutes to try to fix it again, and I don't want to do that. But yeah, I mean, I love these cars. I've had, you know, Ford 210 style cars and then one 211. So I mean, I do genuinely love this chassis, this engine, especially this engine. These engines are amazing. They're the most powerful, 215 to 221 horsepower, I believe. But I think it's 221. I think with my SL I had 215. But they're just bulletproof. If you take care of your transmission, then these will be bulletproof. They just last forever. And that's, I think, the main benefit of a 210 or even a 211. Avoid the earlier 211s, and again, avoid the earlier on 210s. But if you get a later production car like this, I would recommend 2002 for the 210s and for these 208 chassis Mercedes. Then you're gonna have a spectacular car. And honestly, with the options you can get on these, you can even get this with a screen. Cooled seats, heated seats, sunshade obviously. I mean, you can get these things really highly optioned out. So, it really comes up to what you want. If you want a cheap Mercedes, this would be a great option. If you want a really nice, taken care of, again, go for CLK. They're always well maintained. If you buy one from an older person, and most of them were bought by older people, you don't really see too many, you know, younger kids in these CLKs back in the day. You saw them in either like a SLK or a C-Class, especially those little C-Class coupes they had back then. You saw them in those. Old people bought the CLKs. You know, except for Lena Christopher Moltisanti from The Sopranos, that's an exception. But, you know, these still look good to this day. I know the cosmetics are a little polarizing. I can see why. For a long time I didn't like the looks of these cars, but it really grew on me over the years, especially since I was such a big fan of the W210. But anyway, hopefully y'all enjoyed. I kind of rambled on there for a little bit at the end, but yeah, I would definitely recommend this car. Get a later one, especially like a post-2000. I don't think the pre-facelift looks that particularly good. I don't like the bumpers on either the pre-facelift 210s or the 208s. And preferably get one that has the most options with the, you know, least amount of miles. You know, like I think 50,000, 70,000 miles free off of these things. Get the transmission service then, and you'll be set. And I say get the most amount of options because I know these things do have electrical issues, especially the early ones. But cooled seats, man, they are amazing. Like this one has, you know, one or two electrical issues too. The CD player is a little messed up. And, you know, it's your typical Mercedes stuff, but, like, man, those cool seats are amazing. The screens, I've seen them, now I've experienced them in some C-Classes. I've never had one in a CLK before, but Mercedes screens are top-notch, even from this era. Only second only Jaguar from this era. Jaguar had even a little bit better system that came out in 2002. But yeah, hope y'all enjoyed. Take care, like and subscribe for more, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.